A lot of us train for both size and strength, if not at the same time at different parts of the year. And there's those are two different goals. They require two different training strategies, and quite often, obviously with the compound movements, the exercise execution can be dramatically different when you're trying to move weight from point A to point B with your entire body versus trying to focus more on your quads and position your feet and position the bar and adjust your tempo to try and develop your quads regardless of the weight on the bar. But a lot of times we carry over that mentality of strength training into our assistance exercises, into our isolation exercises, or when we go through a period of the year where we're not as concerned with strength and we're focused more on hypertrophy and bodybuilding. Perhaps you're getting ready for some type of bodybuilding or physique contest. That is a good time to implement different strategies, kinder, gentler strategies for your joints to perhaps lower the weight on the bar. Perform the exercises in a more deliberate manner where you're focusing a little bit more on the muscles that you're trying to focus on and focusing less on the weight on the bar and moving weight from point A to point B. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using momentum in training, using cheating the movement a little bit, right? Adding a little bit of body English when you're doing cable pull downs, adding a little body English when you're doing heavy barbell curls, adding a little body English when you're doing dumbbell side raises. You get my point. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. It enables you to use a little heavier weight as long as it's under control and you have good technique. That's fine. But sometimes it's also nice to perform movements that are a little bit stricter. Maybe you're playing with your tempo, you're lowering the weight very slowly, a 3 count, even a 5 count, and you're really placing an emphasis on trying to initiate the movement that you're performing using the muscles that you're trying to focus on. So initiating the tricep push down with your triceps, not just hoisting it and kind of using a little full body momentum, because you are then missing out on certain ranges of motion throughout that entire movement because you're kind of blasting through it with your entire body. So it's something to think about. Just because in the long run, if you incorporate periods of time throughout the year where you're doing things a little bit stricter with less weight on the bar, you're still stimulating the muscle, you're still making gains, and you're giving your joints a break, and your joints will thank you for it in the long run.